What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Steve the Canadian coming at you. And in this one, I was gonna say part 2 of the mini chopper, but this is really part 1 of fixing it back up and doing it again. So version 2, part 1. But I'll go over it with you right now and show you what went wrong, what's going on, and then tell you what we're gonna do with it. All right, guys. So here it is. You guys saw it in the last video. So this isn't like a part 2 to the last one. This is just a continuation of this bike. And we will start with what went wrong. So you guys probably saw in the last one, I flipped it. Everything went wrong. Everything went south. You know, that's how it goes. Not the worst damage ever. So exhaust took a ding, as you can see. And the wrap, it took the wrap right off, but I just kind of stuffed it back on there. The seat, it ripped out the bolt out of the mount. I wanted to change the seat anyways. Now I have to. The seat's fine, but it just pulled it up out of the mount and stripped the bolt. So get a new one of them. The tank and the exhaust took all the hit like I showed you guys. So just took a ding there. It broke the cap. The cap doesn't stay on anymore, even with the key, which is sad because that was an original key for the bike. The handlebar took a grotesque hit. It was beautiful. They were both good. And of course, again, it was because of this. I had repaired original equipment to keep it nice. The repair failed and it got stuck and off bike went. Ha! And this got all smashed up. So like this was working beautifully. Had it bled, it's all kaposhed. The tank, when I got it, the tank was red and had a pinhole in it that had been repaired, but it had started leaking. So I was like, okay. So I repaired it. Yeah, it didn't hold. And I'm not even embarrassed about it because getting a gas tank to hold is just hard to do, especially when the whole inside is rusty. But I'm not sure if I explained it in the other video. I already knew this tank was junk. So I painted it for the video to get it done, but it needs a new tank no matter what. That was already assumed because then another pinhole popped up and then I'm pretty sure, yeah, then another one. So the tank would have been junk even if that wasn't there because those weren't there. So can't really blame me on that one. You could call me an idiot for painting it, but I used house paint this time. So it wasn't a $450 paint job like the mini bike or the other mini bike. Rear fender. Look at this, guys. This bike barrel rolled in front of me. Did not take out the rear fender. The biggest surprise of it all was that the rear fender's fine. The other side of the handlebar got kind of chewed up, but that's all going to get replaced. And the front forks are a little twisty-istied, but they're going to come off anyways, so I'll realign them. But otherwise, for the bike, it held together, right? I mean, it's really surprising when you go from being on the bike to watching it barrel roll in front of you. It's like, what's going on? It was surprising, but yeah. So now, I'm not sure if you guys ever saw close up. There's some painted touches. I had to tape this because that's actually it's the same size attachment, but it's a 28 millimeter carbon instead of 26. So there's a little gap there. So I just put tape, whatever. I got the proper size carb now. You guys will see just a couple painted parts. That's painted, you know, just nice little touches. But yeah, it's a thing. So yeah, as you guys can see, the bike actually stood up pretty good against my dumb ass. And my buddy there online, he's always telling me that these machines I'm building are going to kill me, and the safest one so far almost did. But all of this did disappear. We got new stuff here, old stuff here, but new parts. And really the hardest thing to find is a good gas tank that fits it size-wise. But we're going to figure that all out. And we got a few other surprises going on the bike. I'm really trying not to be extra on this one because that's what stalls every other project. Let me show you. You guys will get a live cut on this one. In case you're wondering about the three-wheeler, it hasn't really progressed, but it's out of the way now. and we're figuring shit out, right? So that thing is just a huge inconvenience at the moment, and I'm to blame. I should just finish it, but it's just so much technical stuff, and then the pocket bike, turning it electric just made it like a whole nother project. But I'm working on that one day by day. I'm not filming a thing of it, but I'm just kind of tweaking with it. But this one, this is, I think, the coolest one. The 250cc, I just dropped that off into storage. I don't know, nobody will work on the motor, so I gotta get another motor. Getting another 250cc motor around here either requires buying a dirt bike for that, or buying a motor online, which both are expensive. So I'm kind of considering with that one, just, it's gonna sound crazy, but I could possibly get like a cheap CBR 125 motor and just put that on. And I think that would be either way. This one though, we got some goodies for the motor, so we're gonna go over that. We got just goodies for the handlebars, and like I said, that's really it. So once we make sure it is still drivable, everything's tight and good, we're gonna get the new parts put on, and then I gotta get like a proper microphone and camera so you guys can come for a ride with me. Because when this thing's put together, I don't want to just, you know, do some shots of you seeing me drive. You guys should come for a ride. Oh, the seat is gonna be the skateboard I wanted. An actual, you just hang on right there, guys. I will make it look nice, I will make it work, but an actual skateboard would be comfortable on this thing. This is not comfortable at all. Even if I do my idea of cutting it and heating it up there and bending it so that the back of the board is like this, like almost like a sissy bar with a backrest, I think that would look so good on the bike, especially if you were to wrap this in something nice, like a nice brown leather. Damn, would that look good. It would be so uncomfortable though. I rode this thing for fucking a half hour and my ass hurts so much. But it's a non-finished seat, but the idea just sucks. I'm not sure if you guys have ever sat on anything with a skateboard as a seat, because it's kind of a weird idea, but it's super comfortable because it's dished. So it just cups your ass. And yeah, like that little pocket bike, skateboard seat, super comfortable. It made it rideable. This will make it like a proper length, nice one, will make it rideable. Because as an adult, I'm not sure, oh, I took it to storage. The seat for this thing is just like a triangle like this, but it's like this big and it's super uncomfortable. It's like no adult can properly sit on that and ride it for more than just the enjoyment of like 3 minutes of fun. And to be honest, I kind of, this, like in the place where I live, I can make this road legal. I can still read the VIN on the front. So all it needs at this point is turn signals and a horn, and it came with those. So it's already basically there. Just gotta order new ones. So rambled like a mofo there, but I'm gonna lay out the parts, get into it, show you where they're going. We don't have all of them yet, but I can tell you what's coming anyways, put pictures up. Because they're gonna be here, what's today, the 4th? They're gonna be here tomorrow anyways. So you guys will still see them in the video. Let's get at it. Alright guys, so here we are, this is where we're at. So I've just stripped a whole bunch of pieces off the machine, as you can tell. We got some covers off, intakes off, all that stuff. I'm deciding how far we're going. I think I'm going as far as we're going. Right? So tanks off, just ignore that, you don't see that. But yeah, so you guys can see it's pretty clean with everything taken off. My biggest worry was the top, I believe it's the top tree. So this, when I pulled it apart, the shock tube came apart and this was in there. So I had to go to a shop, get some air, because I don't have air here anymore, and get that apart, but I got it apart. So, something special in store for this. I guess we'll go from, there's the bike. Yeah, working on it. To what we got going on, what came off the bike, what's gonna go back on the bike. So this, got something special. I'm gonna get done with this just so it looks pretty, looks fancy. It's in pretty good condition. Yeah, that's about all you need to know for that. The exhaust, Oh, it got dinged up, but believe it or not, we are going to save this much of it. So this much of the exhaust is going to go back on, but in the place I want it. I want it right above the engine, not kind of as high as it was. But we're going to save that wrap too. The wrap's still good. It's brand new. And if you put it on properly, it doesn't become brittle and you can still use it. So it's still good. The carburetor and intake, I left it together because the dirt bike engine is in storage, no longer here. And that's what that's for. So for now, I'll just leave that together because that intake is not going back on the machine. As you guys can see, it was nicely painted. But just like the tank, it looks pretty fucking good when you don't realize how shitty it is, right? Just like the tank. Everything looks good in the sunlight though. Yeah, just like the tank, I always knew it was coming off to be replaced. So, oh, and one final part. The shifter, the foot shifter for this thing, although it's in like decent shape, it's not really broken. This bar I think is welded. Yeah, this bar is welded right there. So, I mean, it's not great. I need a new one anyways, at least a new middle bar. The other pieces are still good. But shifting with your foot on this thing is kind of a pain in the buttocks. So, you know what? We'll just go into that. We'll start with that. So this thing is getting a jockey shift, suicide shift, jockey shift, whatever. So it'll be hand shifted because it is a semi-automatic. So that'll be easy enough. This thing. I was thinking about getting the same fanciness done as this thing. I think that would look cool. But something special for the shifter knob. That's why it's not on there. Gold, people. Gold. Yeah, moving on. So the reason that's off, but still together, and that's good carb, by the way. That's standard Japan. I think that's a real one. No, that's the Maikuni. No, that's a real one. That's a real carb. That's a real Japanese carb. So it's a good carb. It's been on a lot of machines so far. But, Nibby Racing. This is not Nibby Racing. Do not be fooled. This is just an intake that can be adjusted in direction. So it's already turned, and then I can turn it some more, which I like, because I need to be able to get the carb touches the starter motor at the moment. So I need it off to this side. And this piece will do that. But for the heart, and I call this baby the heart because without this, nothing can happen. We were going to go, we're still going to go, yeah, you guys are probably surprised. Hey, that's the three-wheeler. It's just hanging out. I got it out of my fucking way. Airbags are good, though. They're still good. I know. The other day I had an argument with a guy. Air shock, same thing. There's an airbag in there. It's close enough to an airbag three-wheeler. But we're going my Cooney carb on that thing, a flat slide, so because it's a bigger machine. But we're going with the round slide Nibby on this bad boy. And from what I've seen, these are just very snappy, nice carbs. Not, I guess you don't get the top end out of them like you do some aftermarket carbs, but these are just reliable, good carbs. And they look fantastic. If I find that Maikuni one again, this is what they were aiming for, quality-wise. And it does not look this nice. It looks more like the cheap Chinesium it's made of. So that's pretty standard, right? We're going with the really nice carb. I think that's a nice carb. Nibby Racing, check them out. Not sponsored, but I think I might just say it's sponsored by Nibby anyways, because there's more parts coming for it. So to deal with the carb, because this whole scenario started and ended with the throttle cable fucking breaking, this cocksucker, well, not the throttle cable, but the original equipment that was repaired and broken. This bad boy's coming off. This bad boy's staying, just for looks, the housing. And then a Nibby Racing throttle and grip will be replacing this. So it will be a brand new Nibby Racing with a Nibby Racing cable to a Nibby Racing carb. Good to go. This bad boy, I wanted to save it. I really did. This is what had the clutch in it, and you can hook up the horn. Nah, it can die. We're gonna go with, I'm not sure. I don't think I was showing you guys. I think I was showing Twitter people. we got, oh, I should have had these down here. I didn't even think about that. I want chrome up front. So, we got ourselves just some nice chrome replacements off Amazon. The reviews are not great for this product. So, I'll let you know. But it's got a brake switch. It's hydraulic. Like a rear brake switch. Which is nice. They said the DOT3 might eat through this glass, so we'll see. If so, they were cheap enough I could replace them. But I got really nice chrome handles to put back on. I know I'm probably just giving you guys the shittiest view right now. It's not coming off, but you guys get the idea. So the back, the front, it'll be back to chrome, looking good. All right, so yeah. That's taken care of. Throttle's taken care of. We're not going to have this mishap again, right, guys? Right? Yeah, I hope. You know what? We'll skip these for a sec. We'll go to this. So, I bought this a long time ago for this project. And then it was going to go to the mini bike project. Oh, I got to clean that thing. It looks so dirty in the sunlight. So, it was supposed to go to the mini bike project. What I did not realize when I bought this, guys, was it is for that style of engine, the 110cc. It is not for the dirt bike engine even. It would not go on it. Because when I got the part, I was like, where's this thing go? What's this for? But I also didn't realize that this bike has an oil pump. So you can hook it, you just hook that plate up here instead of this plate, and you have an oil pump. So, a worry I had about another part gets solved at that point. So instead of having to run an external oil pump, that plate adapts that. And then that goes in that oil cooler. Right? Nice little thing. I think it was like 18 bucks on Amazon, but apparently they're pretty good. So, gets mounted like that somewhere. I don't know where. I'll find a place. But I'll probably just like test with these hoses and then replace them. Apparently they're the worst part of the whole kit is these hoses. But before that, now you guys, if you've been watching this channel for a while, have seen this bad boy quite a few times because it was supposed to go on this with a fucking running off propane, and that's what this is already mounted for. This was supposed to be fucking mounted, and that actually goes onto that thing. So, dreams don't come true. I'll have a turbo 3-wheeler one day made out of a quad, don't you worry. But for now, I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna repo my shitty welds. I'm not saying I'm gonna clean them up, but I'm gonna repo them. And then that is going to be used for this. So this pipe is the absolute perfect bend. I have so many perfect bends around from chopping up exhaust. I just gotta find them. And I found this. I wanted this, and I knew I had this, and I found it after I was done that. That still turned out like half-ass sexy, but this big wrap is just ridiculous. Not the wrap itself, but how big this is. But it still fit the look of the bike. It gave it that chopper theme. But this one, that end, and then the exhaust is just basically going to go right like that. And then turbo right there. So, you were talking like gonna have to cut it down, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'll go around. No, that'll burn my leg. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to modify it. But oh no, there we go. Either way. Oh, there it is. Perfect. And then turbo. I know you guys are thinking crazy, right? Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but I'll probably have it, it's just that nut that's getting in the way. I'll probably have it more turned towards the front, so it'd be like this, but pushed in more like frame level, frame-wise. So it'd be like in. And then, yeah, turbo will sit right on top. And bam, right into the intake. And then I will have a turbo 125cc bike. Yeah. And then that's it. I know that seems like a lot, but it's not, considering what was already done, like that seat mount, the fender, the exhaust. This is just basically switching parts at this point. That's just like a bolt-on. That's actually kind of just like a bolt-on. I could weld that. But I have the whole kit for that somewhere. I don't know, I got rid of half my shit today, so I could work on this. But this is just getting progressively worse. If you guys haven't seen my stories, the tank is failing in so many places. Yeah, there too. But, ooh, does it look half decent? Like, ignore the dent and the shitty fucking paint. The whole bike looks half decent. It looked better too. Yeah, so that's this part of the video. You know what? That's the end of part 2. Guys, you see what I'm going to be doing? Not a lot. Take off parts, get some parts cleaned up and I guess customized. It's work that I can't do. On these 2 pieces, I can't do the work required. But I got a guy that can. And then just install these. Which again, I know some people would be like, that's kind of a big install. Not really. Exhaust to exhaust, intake to intake. Just where to put it. So yeah, that's everything. That's all. This is part 2. I want to thank you guys for coming back. I don't know. I'm going to get some stuff done and then I'll come back with part 3. Right now, my biggest concern is the tank. I don't have a tank that's good. I need a tank that's good. But if I can just find a reasonably priced Honda 3-wheeler, like a 200cc, all of my problems will be solved. I'll have a motor, I'll have a front end, I'll have a gas tank. That's all I need. Front end. That thing can sit on its own. The airbags are done in the back. I'm gonna forget the airbags in the front. It just needs a fucking Honda 3-wheeler front end, a good one. The Honda 3-wheeler tank, they look perfect on this size of machine. That's why I want to go with it. And then the 200cc motor for the Baja. Because nobody wants to look at that Geo dirt bike motor. That was my mistake for buying it. But it might be wrecked. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, guys. Good to see you, as always. And I hope you drop by for more content. I hope I actually put more content up. But if not, I'll see you later. Smash that like button. Leave a comment on what you think. Yeah.